Welcome to Jumosi Podcast. So in today's video, we're just going to give you a quick update of what's happening right now in South Sudan. And what's happening is that the government of South Sudan is going to shut down our use of social media, especially Facebook and TikTok, as of midnight, January 22, 2025. The alleged reason why they are doing that is the recent protests that happened across the entire country of South Sudan due to killing of South Sudanese that were in Sudan by the Sudan armed forces. Yeah, you can give us the how do you call it, the government statement that you got online.
All right, so this is the statement that was issued by the National Communication Authority on January 22nd, 2025, which is today. The statement reads, summary blockage of all social media sites within the territory of South Sudan. We refer to the above matter. The authority herein invokes the provisions of Section 9 GF and 34(6) of the National Communication Act of 2012. By this order, the authority directs all internet service providers to block access to all social media accounts effective from the midnight of the 22nd January 2025 for a maximum of 90 days. This is culminating from the recent upheaval in Sudan that has exposed the South Sudanese population to unprecedented levels of extreme violence through social media posts. South Sudanese refugees in Wed Medani, located in the neighboring Republic of Sudan, were subjected to violent attacks, resulting in the death of women and children, subsequently captured in videos and shared on social media without any regards. We formally request the blockage of these social media sites for a minimum of 30 days. This directive may be lifted as soon as the situation is contained. The contents depicted violate our local laws and pose a significant threat to public safety and mental health, especially the vulnerable groups. As a regulator, we aim to cultivate a safe digital environment in alignment with our legal framework and national values. Thank you for your attention to this critical issue. Regards, sincerely, Napoleon Adok Guy, Director General of National Communication Authority, that is NCA. What are your thoughts, Jumosi, on this issue?
Well, not just my thought. One of the questions that I'm asking myself is that what is this blocking of social media? Who is meant to be protected by the blockage of social media?
Okay.
Is it the South Sudanese, or is it the Sudanese that are being protected in this scenario? Because the use of social media is being stopped or is being blocked in the southern part only.
Yeah.
Alleging that we are able to access some of this information online. But these Sudanese that were killing people still have the access to the internet.
Yeah.
So if they are going to kill South Sudanese that are still there, then we are not helping our people. We're just helping ourselves. We're just helping the Sudanese that are on our side so that we don't see what's happening for a revenge. So that's technically what the government is doing, because the perpetrators are still having the access to internet and social media.
Okay.
So if they were the one that first kill and posted.
Yeah.
So nothing has been done on their side. So if this government was to help, they should have said, for the two countries, we are blocking the use of social media for both sides.
And also, do you think that would have been effective, considering that we have Sudanese in different parts of the world, not just within South Sudan and Sudan?
Yeah, I was going to come to that, so I just wanted to address that part.
Okay.
And I'm going to give you one of the reason why this one, blocking of social media, is not going to work. One of them is that the government of South Sudan does not have the technical know-how of how to stop all this, the blockage of all social medias around.
Okay.
And number two is that in South Sudan, people don't work night shift. So if it is going to be effective midnight, who is there staying at the building to ensure that the internet or the use of these two apps is shut down? Even if it is lying the responsibility of the VivaCell and MTN, they don't work at midnight too in South Sudan.
Like and, MTN and Digital, VivaCell is no longer in service.
Yeah, but I saw as was it a Zain?
MTN,
one of them.
Zain and
Zain. Yeah, they issue a statement. So they don't have employees that will work midnight in South Sudan to ensure that that one is going to work, and that's why as of midnight in South Sudan, people were still having access to that info. And now to come, South Sudanese have options of accessing these social medias, and one of them is through use of VPN. When they use VPN, it's able to show that they are in a different part of the world and their apps will work. So if these people, and I've already seen people sharing how to access the VPN. So if these people are going to get it, they're still going to access this. So that's why it coincides with the point that I say earlier about lack of technical know-how by the government. They don't know these people are still going to use this one. And number two, another option that our people have is the use of the Starlink Wi-Fi. These people are not blocking internet; they're just blocking TikTok and Facebook. But Starlink Wi-Fi does not use the IPS that they're trying to block. It uses the satellite. South Sudan does not have that capability to stop the satellite or to regulate it, and they don't have that much money to talk with Elon Musk to say, okay, do this on our behalf. They're a tiny economy. They will not listen to them. South Sudan is not one of his priorities. Even if they were to send a lot of letters, I'm 100% sure nobody's going to look at them right away. And the third option that they have is use of WhatsApp status. We have seen that people update their status, and people that have contact with you are able to view your story. So people might shift to use a WhatsApp status to still share if they're interested in sharing that information.
And also there are so many other like alternative social media.
And finally, my final option that South Sudanese are going to have is they're shifting to X or Twitter. Those accounts are, as per the statement, they are not blocked. So we can just tell this group of individuals that the new way now is X, so let's go there and spread whatever that they were saying that should not be spread. Which is the thing that, so you can go ahead and tell us what you think.
So I concur with all the points that you put across. First of all, people like Mark Zuckerberg, who's the founder and CEO of Facebook, and also someone like Elon Musk, they don't really care about what's going on in South Sudan or Sudan. All they want is to make profit, which is why they are in business. So even if the government of South Sudan was going to reach out to those individuals, the owners of various social media platforms, then they are not going to, they would definitely not accept to block them, because they are currently, their main aim is to make profit, which is their only interest in this case. Also, the only instance where South Sudan can succeed in blocking the access to Facebook and TikTok is by use of the mobile service providers like MTN, just like the way you put it earlier. For instance, there was a public notice that was issued by MTN today, that is immediately after receiving the notification from the National Communication Authority. And the statement reads, Facebook and TikTok service restriction order. MTN South Sudan wishes to inform its esteemed customers that following the directive received by the telecom industry, access and usage, direct or otherwise, of Facebook application, Facebook web, TikTok application, and TikTok web and their related messaging applications have been suspended for a maximum period of 90 days. As a result, MTN South Sudan customers will not be able to access the aforementioned services via the MTN network. All other services offered by MTN South Sudan continue running seamlessly. MTN will continue to notify its customers of any changes to aforementioned approach. MTN South Sudan management. What do you think of that statement?
Well, it's part of formalities, right? So they just have to issue that statement. But still, based on, if you go on Juba I or go anywhere else, you'll see that almost everybody was accessing those services, right? So technically it did not work unless we wait until tomorrow 8 a.m. in the morning when they will report to office to see if they will actually shut them down. But as of now, this government is just failing and everything, and they should just try to focus on the economy and work on inflation rate or achane tu na internet, because not just in achane tu na social medias, because this one is too complex for them.
Yes.
And just fighting a fight that's bigger than them. Times are changing. This is not the olden age where only few people used to have information. Because right here, we can just have an info of what's happening, and we call somebody in South Sudan and we tell them this is what is happening, and then they go call somebody and tell them. The information will still spread. And some of the people that still want to post, because sometimes we really don't care about this login credential, you just tell your friends in Kenya, hey, can you please post for me this? You just send them the information and they can post on your behalf.
On your account?
Or on your account, on your behalf, they log in and then they do it for you. Or they can tell you, share it as your information. So it's really, it's waste of time.
Winning, and also if you look at all these, like what's bringing us to this point, I feel like it's more of diplomatic approach to what's currently happening as a result of the brutal killing of the South Sudanese nationals who were killed in Medani. This is because recently we saw that from the onset of this civil war in Sudan, the oil from South Sudan has not been flowing because it's usually channeled through Port Sudan. That's where it is shipped. So because of that, we see that a lot of civil servants have not been paid their salaries, mainly because the economy kind of relies overly on the oil instead of diversifying their sources of revenue, and that has really hurt the economy. Not that the government is really doing anything with that oil money, even if it was still flowing like before the war, but because this is their source of income where they are able to loot, they saw that since oil production was scheduled to resume effective January 8th, which I'm not sure if it's kind of progressing or not, then I feel like the government tried to be a bit soft on the current issue at hand, so that it does not lead to Sudan government saying we are shutting down the oil production again at Port Sudan. What do you think, like, when talking about the oil and this situation?
Well, then, it will be up to them, right? So what they prioritize is them, because look, at the end of the day, there were years where this oil was being produced, and it's not like we're in a better position as citizens. So if they give priority to the oil to flow for the sales, then they just care much about their stomachs, right? So because these people are coming to loot it at the end of the day, so it's not like it's going to benefit citizens at the end of the day. So be it to them, if they think that's going to help them, I don't know, is it like from that point, like in South Sudan, and I don't want to mention this guy, but this Minister of Information, we all know who there was a false statement. I'm not going to mention him. So there was a false statement that was issued by Gov'T TV the other day. So because he worked in that department or in that ministry, this might be some of his ideas, because sometimes I just feel like yes, he's our person, but where he has been placed sometimes create a lot of controversial.
Your person, not
from Jangule. Yeah, so sometimes it just create a lot of controversial things.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's high time for him just to request to be transferred to a different ministries, so that this kind of hatred that people have toward him should go to somebody else. It's not like he's a bad person, but when you are put in such kind of position, yeah, the statement and what's up coming, I don't really think it's about oil. I feel like it's more like, yeah, he's just trying to
self-interest.
Yeah, to protect himself from other statement being issued, because it's like these people from these Facebook are misusing information. Why would they say that a whole minister said this? I'm going to teach them a lesson.
No. Like, personally, I don't think, he should be able to ask himself, like, why are people creating such statement and people are quick to believe it? It's because in the past he has been reckless with his utterances. Like, the way he addresses issues is not how a civil servant is supposed to address them. They should have some sort of diplomatic approach towards how they issue statements or how they speak in public if you are addressing something that is of national interest.
Yeah, so that was it for Yumosi podcast about the shutting down of the internet. I don't know, what do you guys think? Always just share your opinion. Nobody's going to put you in a blue in a blue house.
Yeah.